What's up, guys? I'm Youngster Skatemore, and today I'm going to talk about Detective Pikachu, which just released on the 3DS about 6 days ago from when I'm recording this. Hopefully I upload this today as well, but whenever you're watching it, it released on March 23rd, 2018, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. So I purchased Detective Pikachu a couple of days after it came out, and I've played, there's 9 cases I think in the game so far. I have played the entire first case and a pretty good amount of the second case. I don't know exactly what percent of it, but I would say, based on the length of the first case, assuming the second case is a little longer, I could say maybe I've done about halfway or something like that of the second case. I don't know. In case you're familiar with the game, I got to the part where you freeze the river, a little bit past that. Anyway, so I just let's get my opinion right out in the way first, and then I'll explain why I do not like Detective Pikachu so far, and I'm not, like, when I say so far, I don't want to make blanket statements saying I do not like Detective Pikachu when I've only played, like, I don't know, 15% of the game maybe, but that's why I say so far, because maybe, who knows, maybe the game could miraculously get much better later on, but I am not going to go back to this game. It is very, very boring from what I've played. And the amount of time I played, by the way, is probably about 2 hours, I would say. Maybe even a little more. And I wish I hadn't even played that much. I bought this game. I've been trying to, I want to cover a lot of, new Nintendo games. So I'm like, well, it's a new Nintendo game, so I should probably get it and talk about it, either review it or at least do first impressions. Like Kirby Star Allies, I did like a first look with the demo, but I bought that game and I'm reviewing it. I'm almost done writing that review, and I'm gonna start recording and editing it soon. So Detective Pikachu came after that, and I'm like, let's get this. And yeah, it's just, I'm really not it's just very boring. It's just not a fun game at all from what I've played, and that's really disappointing because obviously I love Pokemon. It's my favorite franchise ever. And I really like games like, for example, Phoenix. It's very possible to make a good detective game, or at least to make a good. I don't know. I've never played a good detective game, but I played Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, which has a lot of similar things. Like, there's a lot, you go around investigating and stuff, and that's still a really good game. But let's talk about what you do with Detective Pikachu. So, in the beginning of the game, there's a guy named Tim Goodman. That's who you play as. And he's looking for his dad. His dad's been missing for 2 months, and then you get to the city, and there's this Pikachu there, and the Pikachu's talking, and you can understand this Pikachu. It's like, wait, how's this Pikachu talking? But it turns out nobody else can understand that Pikachu. Only you can. And apparently, also, as you'll find out a little bit later, that Pikachu used to be your father's partner, because your father was a detective, and so is Pikachu. That's why the game is called Detective Pikachu, because, Pikachu's a detective. But, so Pikachu then ends up teaming up to help you look for your father. But you don't start looking, that's not the goal until after the first case. The first case is all about, so what'll happen is there's like a cutscene, and these Apom, like 2 different Apoms, steal a necklace from a little girl, basically. And you try to chase them down, but you can't. So the whole first case revolves around, like, figuring out where the Apom went, basically figuring out where the necklace went, and and you gotta get the necklace back for the girl. So, the first thing to mention right there is most games, like, with that are about, like, trying to find out what's going on, like, solve a mystery, the plot needs to be really good, really intriguing, to make you want to find out the mystery in games like that. There was no plot at all. There was no mystery. There was nothing exciting to figure out. Like, when I think of Ace Attorney, Ace Attorney has a lot of flaws, the Ace Attorney games, but they're still like, what the heck? How did this, like a lot of the times in the good cases, how did this murder happen? I need to figure out everything, and like, you're intrigued because you want to figure out what's happening. But in Detective Pikachu, it's like, where did the necklace go? Like, let's see, which way did they? And like, it's just such an uninteresting plot that's happening there. And maybe the plot gets more interesting later. But even the second case, you end up go look for your dad, and the first place there's like 3 different places you can look, because your dad, like, was investigating 3 different places before he disappeared. So you're like, oh, we'll investigate this one, and then basically a Glalie, like, attacks, and like the cave caves in. That's funny. And the whole second case is like, how do we find a way out of the cave? It's not like, let's solve this mystery. Let's be Sherlock Holmes and solve this mystery like a detective should. It's like, let's find our way out of the cave, or let's find that necklace that he just took, and now let's follow Apom. Like, it's so boring. It's just there's such boring concepts for each of the 2 cases so far that they're not interesting at all. And the actual gameplay is, so, okay, I don't know if you're familiar with Ace Attorney, but I really like the court seen the court part of Ace Attorney, where you're in the courtroom, but I really don't like the investigations part, where you're just like talking to people and moving between locations and like trying to gather evidence that you're going to need in the court. Essentially, Detective Pikachu is only the investigation parts of Ace Attorney, which is the worst part of that game, except much, 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 much worse, because obviously he's a detective, he's not a lawyer, there's no court cases. So all the game is, but okay, wait, here's why it's, sorry, I'm like going back and forth. Here's why it's so much worse. In Ace Attorney, you like, there's like one person in each location, and you like talk to them and ask them like three different questions. In Detective Pikachu, there's like 3 different questions you have to ask to try to figure out what's going on. So for example, in the beginning, it would be like like the 3 questions you ask is like, have you seen a palm? Have you seen a necklace? Like, I don't know, one other question or something. Maybe it was just 2 in the beginning. But there's like 10 people in that location, and you got to walk around and ask every single person the same 2 questions to try to gather enough like evidence to figure out what's going on. And then like you'll ask 10 people questions, and you'll like figure out something new, and you're like, oh, one of the APOMs had ketchup on his hand, and one had mayo. But which one had the key? Now you gotta go back to everybody else, everyone that you just asked 2 questions, talk to them all again, and ask them, do you know which APOM had the necklace? Or like something like something like that. And then you gotta talk to everyone again to give you these boring answers that most of them are completely irrelevant and aren't interesting. And even if they are like helpful, there's like, yeah, it went that way. It's like, oh, this is so interesting. This is such interesting dialogue. No, it's not. It's very boring. You're not doing anything fun in the slightest. It's the whole game pretty much is just running around and talking to people and checking off your list, like, oh, I gotta talk to this guy, ask him this question, talk to this guy, ask him this question, and just keep doing that until you finally are able to like move on. So say like you figured out which way you went, then you walk to another part of the park, and now you're like, oh, okay, we're in this section of the park. And then what happens is it's like Apom like got knocked out by like a bird Pokemon or something like that, and there's a feather there, and it's like, ooh, what bird Pokemon could this belong to? You got to go around that whole section of the park and ask like 15 people, whose feather do you think this is? And then there's like 3 questions. It's like one of them is like, whose feather do you think this is? One of them is like about the park, or like, I don't know, it'd be like about the bird Pokemon at the park, and it'd be like another question like maybe like about something more specific about them, or like have you seen the necklace? Or just, I don't remember what the exact questions are, but that's just like walking around asking everyone these boring questions and getting boring answers, and there's nothing fun about that, nothing entertaining at all. There's just no fun to be had in what I've played. It's just not a fun game. It's not a game. Like a lot of games that I talk about are like, I think they're like that. If I think they're not that good games, like I'll talk about them and be like, yeah, I don't think it's that good of a game because of this and this and this, but there's still fun to be had. Like it's still like maybe like a somewhat fun concept, but it can be really bad in other ways. This is just not fun. There's nothing fun about what you're doing. It's running around and talking to people, and nothing is even interesting. The plot isn't interesting. The stakes aren't interesting, like, and what you're saying, what they're saying is just completely not interesting at all and very boring. And then what's really annoying is, like, for example, when you're in the first area, you have to see one of the APOM went one way, one of them went the other way, and you can tell that the red, like the one with the red went this way, and the one with the white went that way. And like by talking to one person, like I kind of figured out that, oh, the one with the key went this way, but like I couldn't just go that way. It's like you have to. The game makes you wait until you've like asked everyone it and gathered everything, gathered all the evidence, and then Pikachu, like you go to the bottom screen and it's like Pikachu's like, all right, so like let's look at our notes and like what do you think happened and like how, and you have to like there's little like slots, you have to like drag the correct evidence or the correct testimony, which is what they call it, which is like what the witnesses say, like what they said happened, and like drag the correct testimony slide into the slots. Be like, good, he must have went that way, and they're the most like obvious thing, like they're the most elementary things, like, what do you think happened? Well, this guy said the one with the red tail, the Ketemon's tail, had the necklace, and this guy said the one with the red went that way. So it's like, you figured it out. That's called being a detective. Like, what are you? That is the stupidest thing. And you could figure that out way earlier. But you still got to go ask everyone these dumb questions, and then you just go onto a new area and do it all over again. And it's just a really boring game. I'm really, like, it's just not fun. I only played it for I wanted to finish one case, because I was like, alright, I can't really do a video on this without, I gotta do one case so I at least get a grasp of how this game works. And then I had option at school, but I didn't have my Switch with me, so I played like the second case for an hour, and didn't finish it, so it's longer than, I probably played longer than 2 hours, to be honest with you, maybe a little longer than that, I'm not sure, but yeah, then I played the second case for almost an hour, and that was just so boring. I was like, maybe it'll pick up here, and it didn't pick up at all. It was super boring, everything we did. I would definitely not recommend this game at all. I think it's very boring. I'm sorry. I don't like to trash games. I really don't. Like, I feel bad sometimes, but there's just nothing fun to it. I don't understand how it'd be fun. The only, like, good things I would say is, I guess, the cutscenes are, like, kind of interesting, like, kind of entertaining to watch. Like, I enjoyed watching the cutscenes, I guess, but that doesn't make it a good game or a fun game at all. Like, oh, I'll get this game because 5% of the time I'll be watching a mildly interesting cutscene. But no. And I do like the character of Detective Pikachu. You know, like, he's interesting. So, like, his dialogue in the cutscenes is, like, kind of, like, interesting. Because it's interesting to watch. And there's also, like, quick time events. So, like, in the beginning, you're chasing the Apom and, like, mash A so Pikachu can climb this thing. And then press A at the right time so he'll jump to the ledge or something like that. Or so you can catch Pikachu when he fell. But, they don't really, like, I don't know. There's quick time events. Like, when the best part of a game is quick time events, and that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad if the best part of the game is quick time events. I mean, I guess the cutscenes too, but I don't know. Yeah, okay, it's not the best part of the game. Like, the character of Pikachu I like, but he's got, like, a gruff voice and he's addicted to coffee, but it's boring as nails. It is so, it's just so boring. I was, like, even bad games, I'll be, like, playing it, I'll be like, I'm frustrated, like, because of bad level design, or, like, this is repetitive. Like, I've done this a lot, so I'm not having as much fun. But this is just, there was no fun at all in what I was doing. I didn't have one inkling of fun in any of the detective work. And then it's like, the next part, like, I knew which Pokemon's feather it was. Like, it was like, is this Murkrows, P-Dubs, Starly's, or this one? Like, I knew which one it was. It was, like, pretty clear. But I still had to spend, like, 30 minutes going on these random tangents, asking people 50 questions, and then I discovered a new thing. Then I have to go ask everyone the same question again, or a different question. Then I discover a new thing. Then I have to walk around to every single person and ask them a new question again, and they're asking everyone the same question. So it's not interesting at all. And yeah, I think I've made my point across. The plot wasn't interesting. Maybe the plot picks up. I don't know. Not worth it. I highly recommend that you do not get Detective Pikachu. I think out of every single game I have ever covered on my channel in the, almost 4 years that I have been playing games on YouTube, I think that this is the game I would recommend the least. I'm being completely sincere. I really do not recommend it. It's incredibly boring. If you disagree, and it's getting, like, in the low 70s in review scores, which is baffling to me because, like, how can, like, low 70s, like, it isn't good. That's not good score, but that's still, like, okay. Like, this should be getting not serious. This should be getting Fs. Like, this should not be getting in the 70s. I don't understand it. I don't understand the appeal here. It's just super boring. And just the stuff on the bomb screens, like, you have to figure out the exact thing that he wants. Like, those part in the second case, I figured out exactly what I need to do, but, like, because I didn't put it in the exact order Pikachu wanted, or select the exact evidence that showed it in his way, he's like, I don't think that's right. Try again. It's like, screw you. This game sucks. I don't want to play it anymore. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry for being so negative this time around. Hopefully next video will be a little more positive. I think the ARMS Global Test, you know what's pretty cool? The ARMS Global Test Punch starts tomorrow, assuming I upload this today. No, it doesn't start tomorrow. It starts the next day. It starts on the 31st at midnight. So, like, the very beginning of the 31st, it starts, I think. And then it lasts for like 3 days. Normally when they do the global whatevers, like Splatoon 2 and ARMS, it'll be, like, for an hour here and there. But I think this is just 3 days straight, which is very cool. I've been thinking of getting ARMS, so I'm very excited about this. The only thing I don't like about it is I didn't really like the Global Test Punch originally because they had a lot of other modes in there mixed in that I just didn't like. Like, I hated the volleyball mode, and I hated the 1v1v1 because, like, there are a lot of issues with those. Like, you couldn't switch aiming, and, like, like, I couldn't really, I didn't enjoy it that much because, so I just thought, like, I guess I don't like ARMS that much. But then I played ARMS at my friend's house, Nintendo Nick, and I actually enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed it a pretty good amount, because we just did the regular mode, and I was like, oh, this is actually pretty fun. So I hope the Test Punch, there's an option to just do regular 1v1 ARMS, see if I like it. So, I don't know. But maybe I'm probably going to stream that, so stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching. Please be sure to follow me on Twitch for streams such as the ARMS one and other streams in the future. Follow me on Twitter for alerts and stuff whenever I upload and other information. Be sure to like if you enjoyed. Drop a comment down below. Please let me know if you played this. What do you think? Like, am I crazy? Is this boring as nails? Or, like, I don't know. Let me know what you think about this game. Be sure to subscribe for more videos, and I will see you guys next time. Oh, also really quick, I also want to, even while you're doing this, like, maybe, like, oh, well, maybe at least there'd be some good music to listen to. No, the music is so repetitive. It was just, like, it was among the most repetitive music I'd ever heard in a video game. Seriously, it was very repetitive music. And the graphics, only good thing. It is the I mean, obviously, I'd much rather be playing a game on my Switch, not my 3DS. But I think it is has the best graphics of any 3DS game I've ever played, at least of like a 3D game. Like, so not counting like, I don't know, sprites, which are better, but like it is very good graphics for a 3DS game. But anyway, that's the video. Sorry for 2 outros. Bye bye.